Welcome back to the TRP podcast. We're on number 5 now. Took us a little break off after our last podcast. Had kind of a long break here. Everybody's been busy working, golfing. Just haven't had time to do much. So I think we're just going to get back into where we left off before turkey season. Now it's several weeks after turkey season. And I still don't sound too happy about it. I'm sure you don't either.
No.
Kind of a odd year.
Big letdown.
It was. Turkey season was what we're gonna call a bust. Uh, I didn't really get to hunt much at all. I don't know. I think I went 4 times is all.
That's the number I went. I know I only went 4 times.
Yeah. We were busy. Work slowed me down. By the time I got off work, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I didn't feel like even trying it, even thinking about trying it. We had one rain out day. I snuck in a midday hunt. Coyote busted me. I told myself that was it. I'm done.
Well, I think in the last podcast, that's what I said before turkey season is that I was about to start that 7/12 schedule. And at the time, I said 2 weeks. That's what I got, 15 days of it. And that turned into about 20 straight days. And then just kind of random, hey, we're working 12 today. Or we're
Yeah.
working Saturday, or we're working Sunday.
Yep.
So I didn't get to do near as much hunting as I liked. And that led, also didn't get to do any scouting. So whenever I did hunt, it was just just about as run and gun as you can
Yeah.
get.
That's that's where I was. I mean, I didn't get to scout. I literally got a phone call the night before opening day. Hey, Tom's strutting in your field. You need to go find out where it's roosting so we can kill it in the morning. So that's what I did. Watched him go to roost. Knew where he was. Got there plenty early to sneak in on him. Got set up. I don't know. We were 80, 90 yards from his tree. Hens pitched out. He gobbled his head off. Got out in the field and got hung up at 100 yards and just wouldn't come to us. Couldn't figure it out. Thought, well, we'll just get up and move to him. He's in the woods. We got time. Got set up in the woods. We hadn't been in the woods 5, 10 minutes maybe. 3 Jakes. Here they come. And I'm pretty sure I could have stuck my gun barrel out and poked them. And they walked right over our lap. He fired off, started gobbling again. And the Jakes, I don't know, we were there, hung up in the woods with them for about an hour. They pushed him 3 or 4 times from us, and then they come in there on top of us on the creek bank eating bugs and hung out for a good 35, 40 minutes. And
Really,
that's the closest I got to a turkey.
what really screwed us too this year is how long was it? A week or two before season, we just had a giant unforeseen rain, and that just
Yeah,
swallowed up the whole entire bottoms,
it did.
which is where most of my hunting goes down anyway.
Yeah,
And
we had a well, not just a headwater. We had a good backwater there for a little while that kept everything pushed out and kept it
it
flooded.
lasted most, if not all, of turkey season.
I think we did talk about that on the last podcast, but
I couldn't remember if it had happened then
that
yet or not.
that definitely changed the game for people like you.
I think last week of season you could finally get down into the bottoms just a little bit,
Just barely, yeah.
bottoms and refuge, but I wasn't able to ever go during that time, so just missed out on it.
Yeah, I think my brother actually got to hunt more than I did. He hunted several mornings in a row, and he hadn't been turkey hunting since 2011. And he looked at me and said, "I'm gonna give her a whirl this year," and he did. And I went with him one morning. We went on a Sunday morning, and the original place we had set up, it was just really windy. We were down at the bottom. We're in a bad spot. So we got up and left after I heard the bird gobble way over on our other farm. We got up and left, got around there, I struck him up. He gobbled. I knew exactly where he was. It was going to be easy work to kill that bird, or for him to kill it. I wasn't going to kill it. He was. Three Jakes come running down the hill, ran right at him and pushed him off. And I don't know. It was a really weird year. Like I feel like every day that I hunted, the wind was blowing 25, 30 mile an hour,
Yeah.
and it didn't really get hot till like that last week. We had some good warm days, but the birds just acted kind of odd.
Have you ran into any poults yet?
I have seen. Me and your dad were talking earlier. I've seen some little groups, 4 and 5, but nothing major.
I saw they had to have been, which he may have said this to you too, but they had to have been. They're less than a week old. I'm talking like Rural King baby chicks
There you go.
turkeys. But I sat there and checked them out for a little bit.
I'm hoping that I'm hoping. I know for sure I had a hen nested up on me. I watched her just about every day after season, walking back and forth from the same spot. That's the same farm that Coyote busted me on, and it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't snatch a couple. But I, one thing I did notice this year that has been different compared to the past, you didn't really see a bird out wandering around in a field that had been sprayed last fall. Last fall, a bunch of the farmers around here sprayed a burn down that will last all the way through the spring, which you lose your mustard flower and your Johnson grass and whatever else is there that collects bugs for those birds to eat on. And I'm telling you, if there was not mustard in that field or Johnson grass, there wasn't a bird in it. I mean, they were gone.
Well, I didn't hear many birds,
No, after
but
the
I was the few times that I've hunted, I knew that I was in a place that turkeys were or should have been, and they were just not talking at all. The hens this year though, they were more vocal than I've heard them,
I heard
but
several hens.
I just wasn't hearing many gobbles. And I got on one at a farm we have, and he gobbled pretty good, pretty hard there for it was like 7:30 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
He was letting it rip, and they just shut up. And
yeah.
I know because I started walking towards him and I got cut off by him. But I know at one point I was within 100 yards of him, and the hen, the other hen, she was probably 30 yards from me, and she was going crazy,
Yeah,
and he wouldn't hit a lick.
I noticed that after, like I said, that opening morning I hunted, and I hunted hard that day. I mean, I hunted all day long, and just couldn't make it happen. And then I hunted with my brother a couple days later, and it was like after that day, nobody was hearing birds gobble. I mean, it was just a weird year. The weather was not right. I feel like there was a bit of a lack in the gobbler population this year. Plus, with the burn down on the fields and a lot of it, birds are staying in the woods, picking up bugs. It's just it was a challenging year.
What is that?
But the good news is deer season is 3 months away, roughly 3 months away,
Yeah,
and it's time to start preparing.
it is. Deers, doves. You got any flowers planted anywhere?
Yeah, I got 5 sunflower plants in my garden this year,
Hey, little
more than
bumper
I've
crop.
had. That's right.
Bumper crop.
And they're already putting on ahead. They're fixing to start blooming out. I'd say
It sounds
within.
like you planted them a little early.
Yeah. That's for the it's for the doves to come in there and eat them early on, and then maybe they'll hang around.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I got you.
I
You
ain't
gonna
gonna
get some
kill a
family
dove.
groups in there.
I ain't going. Yeah, the city doves off the power lines, they
Yeah.
see them. So,
Yeah.
but no, I hadn't planted sunflowers in several years since the year that I planted an acre and a half of them, and they got sprayed on accident. Somebody forgot they were there and round up and 2,4-D'd them, and that was it. It
Yeah,
was over.
you'll have that.
But
I mean, get any velvet on camera?
I've got let's see. Well, I couldn't tell you in the last 4 or 5 days if I've had any pictures because all 5 of my cameras are dead. But
Gotta get that solar panel, man.
last week I did get a picture of a decent deer in velvet. And the week before that, I got a picture of a couple small bucks in velvet, but nothing that's really just jumped out and caught my eye. Of course, it's still real early.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. I mean, I've got a few sticking around, hanging out, but nothing that's. I haven't recognized anything
No,
from last year yet.
that's I haven't seen anything that I saw last year. I know the deer that I chased last year is unless he's been hit by a car in between that the last 2 3 months to now, then he's still alive somewhere. But haven't got a picture of him. He may have swapped farms on me. I don't know. It's still real early, like I said, but the time is a coming, and it's coming quicker than you think.
Coming
So
quick.
it's time to get ready for it. Time to start getting some food in the ground for them.
I've got some in the ground for them.
Where at?
There's a secret spot.
Oh,
But
well,
no, it's a. Believe it or not, I didn't believe it either. Whenever I moved my camera to a different spot, and we bush hogged it, sprayed it, tilled it up, and planted it 3 years ago. I think 3. Yeah, had to have been 3. And it is still coming back. Clover, radishes, turnips,
absolutely
all of it. And it's back there thriving.
sweet.
Which that's that picture I showed you way early. Whenever we first
Yeah,
started getting plants growing, that clover was already
yeah.
scraping the stomachs on them deer.
It's a lot of free nitrogen right there. But you're doing more than you got more than I got right now. My big plot from last year that I redid half of. It it looks all right. It's got a bunch of rape coming back up in it. Uh, I did go and mow it. It's been I don't know. It's been 3 weeks ago. I mowed it really high. Didn't even touch the clover other than the tires. But clover's kind of thick in it. I'm in the 50-50. Do I completely burn it down and restart, or do I let it rock and roll with what it's got? But I don't know. I guess I need to be making my mind up on that. I got another food plot to be putting in ASAP if I can get to it. If it'll ever stop raining. I think it's. I don't remember in May it rained like 22 or 3 days out of May, which is absolutely insane. So it's been awfully wet around here. Haven't been able to do much.
I say burn it down.
Restart on it.
Restart it, yeah.
It's probably my best bet.
'Cause, I mean, it will grow back. Like it's a whatever it is it perennial or annual? I guess annual comes back every year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I don't even know. I'd have to look at that. I planted that Big Sexy, that domain Big Sexy, and I think I put Comeback Kid on it. Big Sexy on when I redid half of it last year. I just went and tilled up. I don't know, 200 feet by 25 or 30 feet. A decent strip of it, and I just threw out that domain and that Comeback Kid. But the Comeback Kid never did. I don't think it ever came up because it was supposed to. I think it's supposed to have clover and
Yeah,
alfalfa.
it's got yeah.
But I don't know.
But
I haven't been out there, so it may be coming up now.
it could come up now. One thing I've noticed about the clover is it'll keep coming back, but it takes a long time or it won't ever do it, but it doesn't like spread very well.
And it doesn't. Right. It doesn't fill itself back in like it
Yeah.
bunch of bald spots, and that's what
Like
I'm seeing
if it
now.
was patchy that first year, it's gonna be patchy until.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't necessarily burn it down, but if you just go out there and just overseed, just throw some clover out on the ground, like, I wouldn't even till it up.
Well, so that's what and I've been debating on renting an aerator and just going out there and pulling plugs all the way down through it, and then broadcasting the clover over it.
We've got an aerator.
But it's one of those that I've been putting it off, and I need to go in there and plow it up, disc it, till it, and just restart from fresh and establish something that I can maintain a little better than what I got now. I mean, half of it right now is Johnson grass and
I need
big
to
weeds.
I need to get our Woodcliff farm under control. I haven't been down there, which we had that big rain.
I bet there's ducks sitting on that thing right now.
No, it don't. It shouldn't have much water in it.
As much rain as we've got in the past we've got close to 4.5 inches in the past 2 days.
Yeah,
3
but
days.
I mean, whenever we had the boards in and it was full, and we pulled the boards, it takes.
I didn't know you pulled them.
Yeah,
That makes a difference.
we pulled them right as season ended, and it'll drain from as full as it can go to as low as it can go in 3 days.
Yeah. What about on that topic, real quick? What about your camera?
Yeah, we're down a reveal, which that was either the first or second podcast once we got on the topic of cameras. But yeah, reveal's not going to do anything for me on that one either.
Yeah, the one that you should have put a floaty on it.
Yeah, it went.
I may put that picture on our Instagram.
It's a funny
story.
sequence of pictures, but
It is very.
yeah,
You sent that to me, and I felt bad for you. I really did. But it was hilarious.
That camera, what tears me up, which, before I say that sentence, everybody that I was sending that picture to, those pictures that runs reveals, they said their cameras have been through 1, 2, 3, 4 backwaters, and then
Really?
like they just bring them home, change the batteries, and fire them back up.
Whoa.
But as soon as I got that last picture of it being underwater, I just instantly canceled the subscription to that camera. So, I mean, possible to go down there and it be full of pictures, I don't know, but no, what tore me up more than possibly losing that camera though is I have another one over there, but that solar panel I put on it wasn't 2 weeks old.
Mm.
And it, yeah.
That's the worst part.
That's the worst part. Because that camera's been down there for probably 2 years, and I've gone down there just every 4 or 5 months and changed the batteries. And I was like, I'm gonna move, which I moved that camera too, but it would have drowned where it was anyway. And I was like, I'm gonna go down there, put it in some sunlight, put a solar panel on it. That way I can just leave this property completely alone. And it was down there for 2 weeks, and then just.
I couldn't
And
help but
you
bring
can
it
see
up.
the 24. That water rose probably 6, 7 foot in 24 hours.
Every bit of it.
So, I mean, that camera's chest high on me, and I know in 4 hours, just like that, it went from a foot, 2 foot to 5 foot. That's about where that camera's at.
Well, I remember you sent me the sequence of pictures as it was going down, and I was like,
You can
it's going.
and you can watch the timestamp.
It went.
Which it rained all day. It rained for about 2 or 3 days
Hard.
straight.
Hard rain.
But you can watch it, and I guess it's just all that water finally catching up. Because it just kind of stayed there at that foot and a half, 2 foot deep for 6 hours. But then there's a 2-3 hour span of it rising 4 or 5 feet. And there goes the.
It happens. It's a little off topic, but I couldn't help but to bring it up when you mentioned that farm. It was like,
Well,
prime time.
it's funny. I mean, oh well, that happens. But I did send it. I messed up because Reveal, which I think I've said this too before, but if you message Reveal on Instagram, they are really good at talking to you. I guess it's just one dude's job to sit on Instagram and answer DMs.
It's the same way with Facebook.
But when I messed up, I sent him that sequence of events. Because I've been trying to get Reveal to post something of mine. Like, I've got some cool pictures, I'll send them to them.
Yeah.
Because they post stuff all the time, but I guess I'm not special enough, I don't know. But I sent that to them, that sequence of events. And I was just like, this is warranted, right? And they're like, nope. Mother Nature always wins. I
Oh
was like, are you
no.
kidding? Like, I don't know why else you would warranty one.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just for that sequence of pictures,
if it didn't hold that water out, then that's on them.
I would have gave you a free camera if you sent me that and been like, sorry about your luck. Here's a new camera, 'cause
Right.
that's awesome.
I've sent them some cool stuff. I had that coyote chasing those turkeys. I had a bald eagle fighting with a hawk. I've had some cool stuff happen in front of my cameras, and they have yet to recognize me.
The only cool thing that I ever got a picture of, two cool things. Two does standing on their hind legs fighting, and then when I had my camera way off, close to a river somewhere, I got a picture of three coyotes, and two of them were mating right in front of the camera.
They're not gonna post that.
It I was honestly shocked when I opened that, and I was like, wow, I guess it is the time to breed. So, but back on topic of deer season, it's like I said, it's around the corner. You gonna swap anything up on the bow, or you gonna run it?
Man, I don't know. Sitting here looking at it, I'm gonna do shorter arrows this year. My arrows are entirely too long.
3D arrows.
No, they're not 3D arrows.
That's what you shot at all the shoots, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but those right there are just long, but they're not 3D arrows.
You can you not have the? Well, you're just like you said, you're gonna order new ones anyway.
But what were you gonna say?
Get them cut, can't you?
Yeah.
Put new inserts in them.
Oh well, I like having a surplus.
Yeah, might as well. That's what I'm gonna just order a new. I don't know. I may go something different this time than the.
The only thing I might do different is just get an Axis 4mm instead of 5mm.
I may get different arrows now that I think about it. I may go. Cause see, I'm shooting the VAP TKOs, but I'm shooting the 300s. Man, it just feels like to me that I need something stiffer than that.
What you both had on?
Mm, I think you said on 70. I'd have to put it on the scale, but don't hold me to that. But I think it's on
Whatever
70.
mods are in it.
I don't remember.
I don't know. There's a chart you can look at, and it'll say poundage, let off, draw length, and then arrow weight, your target arrow weight, and then it'll tell you what spine you need. I've got 250s in mine. That's 500 grain arrow, 30 inches long, 70-pound draw.
If you put that on a scale, like
Yeah, every single one of them. I did it on accident too. I got them cut at 50. Whenever I ordered them from Lancaster, I got them cut at 50, or not 50. Got them cut at 30, and then I put the inserts in, put the vanes on, and I don't know. I guess I was in shooters. Yeah, whenever I bought that bow.
yeah,
And I had just 3 arrows with me. I was like, I'm just curious, and I put 3 of them down. Every single one of them was 500. I mean, there may have been a 3/10 was probably my biggest deviation. Like it'd be a 500.1, 500.4,
yeah, that's
499.7, like, and I
We're
just did it.
we're not getting that technical.
Well, I,
I
I,
mean,
I like getting technical. I like
well,
knowing,
to an extent, you're a little more picky than I am, though.
and that makes it easier because that site, you can sight it in with yardage, but also
Yeah.
I don't know how much you've looked into sight tapes or anything, but there you can get programs and you put in all that stuff, your speed, arrow weight, you put in all that stuff, and it just prints out a sight tape.
Did you say something about a sight tape?
Still don't have one. Anyway,
I just have pencil marks on mine still.
well, it makes a sight tape for you, and that's the same thing that sight will do. Because if I can put that stuff in, and then I don't even have to shoot one arrow to be sighted in, it just
yeah,
bang, there it is, you're sighted in, ready to go.
that's pretty wicked.
Well, it's wicked.
I
I'm not
wonder
gonna
how
get on that though.
accurate, like how
It's perfect.
really.
Yeah, I forget what the app's called, but there's a ton of guys like you can get this color coded site tape that's like connected to this app, and you put in the yardage,
Yeah.
elevation, all that stuff into that app, and it'll say blue 7, and that'll be the blue tab, blue area on your site tape, and it'll be the 7th bar in that site tape.
Huh. I'm
But
gonna have to look that up.
there's a bunch of 3D guys. I know there's a bunch of ASA guys that do it. I don't know the rules of IBO. I don't know if you can even use it in IBO, but if you can, there's guys using it.
You mentioned something about ordering the arrows. From Lancaster. Well, I sat down the other night and that book was laying on my desk, and I just flipped through it and I was like, you know what? I think this is gonna be my go-to this year. I'm gonna look through that book. I'm gonna pick out exactly what I want, and I'm gonna order it. That way, I don't have to go. Last year, I went and bought those arrows, and I shot them for a while, and then I decided I wanted to wrap them. But then I decided I wanted new vanes on them. So then I made you do all the work for free. So this year, I'm gonna sit down and get exactly what I want all at one time, make one deal out of it, and be done with it.
I
Let
need
you
to
do all the work again.
I need to get an arrow saw just 'cause I hate like I don't want to order cut arrows 'cause I was so scared. Like that's why those are so long 'cause I
Yeah.
like wanted to make sure. That's why I measured my target arrows 'cause they are very like I mean the tip on my target arrow where it meets the carbon is probably like a quarter inch past my wrist. Like they're short arrows.
That's cutting her close there, bud.
Yeah, and so that's what I was basing my measurements off of, and I was like, man, if I tell them this and which
Yeah.
they confuse me too, because it's saying like from the knock, and I don't know. I was just overthinking it. Like, is that the back of the knock, or is that just the back of the arrow? Like,
I think it'd be from where the knock insert is.
that's,
Yeah.
but I just added 2 inches because I was like, whatever, and it came out to 30.
Hey, you killed a deer with them, so.
Yeah,
You,
I mean they work. They're heavy hitters. That bow's a heavy hitter. That's a mean bow. But
I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna run the VTM at least another year. At least this year. May
shoot,
may
I'm
do
gonna run
something
the
after
Alpha
that.
X for
But
the next few years, I think.
I don't know, that X2's just. It's calling my name. Of course, the bow that I have now it's 3 years old. I bought it when it was already a year old, so it's 3-year-old bow already.
I couldn't. I can't tell much of difference between the Alpha X and the X2.
Oh, it probably isn't much difference. But
Much.
if I'm gonna get a new one, I might as well get something, the
I hope
newest.
I hope Matthews changes their cams because then I'll go back to them. But
Oh,
that crap they got going on right now is just
goofy,
they're bad.
goofy.
But man, that in my opinion at least, opinionative statement, they're a better looking bow.
I've heard many people put down the Matthews. I've seen several for sale.
Well, I mean, ever since Phase 4 was the last good bow they made.
Yeah.
And then, but still the limbs are coming apart in it.
That's something that they're gonna have to figure out and just do better. I mean, and like it's like that with anything. It's trial and error until you find the sweet spot in it.
The guys that are saying that bow is a nice smooth bow
Wrong.
are either just the Matthews fanatics or the guys being paid to say that.
Yeah, that's exactly
There
right.
is nothing smooth about that draw cycle.
It just looks painful. Like, not painful, but it looks so uncomfortable to even pull that bow back and shoot it.
I mean, any Matthews before, I say any, like Phase 4 V3X B3, that era of Matthews, you could just 70 felt like 55, 60.
Yeah.
I mean, that V3X I had was a mean bow, and you could load it down, and it would just smooth. And how they messed it up that bad, I don't know. Cause I mean, and it really hurt for me, cause that no, the phase 4 is when they changed the cam. Cause I remember going into shooters the day that that thing came out. I was like pumped up to shoot it, and I go in there
Didn't
and
like it.
just trying really hard to pull that bow back. Now 70 feels like 80 in them,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then the breakover on them is just all at once. You go from 70 pounds to 9, just instant. So then you pop back, and I don't know. It's just not a comfortable bow for me to shoot. It may different strokes for different folks, I guess. And
I've never had it. Like I said in several podcasts, I've never had anything but a Hoyt besides my Bear when I was a kid. But like the old PSE bows, I cannot remember the name of it. It's been at least 6, 7 years ago. I know somebody that had one and was absolutely obsessed with that bow because they could pull it back in a stand and they could hold it there all day long, draw back, and never let up, and you couldn't tell a difference. It had, I forgot what they said the let off was on it, but it was some insane number.
man, if there's one company I think that is not really making a comeback, but just putting out some competition, it is PSE.
It could be. That could be the next thing.
Because I mean,
Because they kind of, there for a while, and I'm not knocking them or hating them because I've never shot their stuff, but there for a while, like, they just kind of fell off.
well, I mean they ever since I've been interested in shooting a bow, archery, anything like that, they've from my eyes they've been right there with like Bear,
Right, yeah, I agree.
and Bear too is trying to make a good, nice shooting bow, and they have, but that I can't think of the name of it, but they just all of a sudden they're making $500-600 ready to hunt bows, and all of a sudden they say, "Hey, we're dropping this bow. It's gonna be $1,100 Bear bow," and everybody's like,
No,
"No,
yeah.
like we're not gonna pay that."
And
Like
that's,
just because you price one up there with the rest of them to make us think that it's
right.
like no, that's not. I mean, if they made a $800 bow and was just like, hey, we're gonna try to get into the really competitive market with Matthews, Hoyt, PSE, Elite, all these guys that do make high quality archery products, but you can't just come right out of the gate and be making like those cheap, ready to hunt beginner bows for the last 10, 15 years and just say, all right, we're going into the big flagship market and we're going to put out $1,100 bow and expect people to buy it. Like, that's
You
not
said
going to happen.
you said exactly what I was gonna say. That's like Bear and PSE. I've always looked at them as like a beginner bow. You go and buy that off the shelf, and it's set up. You don't do anything to it. You just go shoot it. Put your arrow in it and shoot it. It's kind of like what you do as a beginner. That's a beginner bow. And like you said, they're trying to make a comeback. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep shooting the Hoyt that I've got and rock out with it for this season.
But them putting out that $1,100 bow is like them trying to jump into the target market, which I'm surprised they haven't tried to do.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a target bow, but that'd be like them just saying, hey, come on with a target bow. It's going to be $1,500 right there with the rest of them.
And see, that's another thing that maybe that's for another podcast. But real quick, that's another thing that Matthews and Hoyt both have. They both have a target bow. They're
Well,
working both. They're working both sides of the industry.
everybody but Bear has a target bow.
Does PSE have one?
PSC,
I didn't know they had
Elite,
one.
Conquest, Darton,
Well,
all these.
that was Elite's whole thing when they first came out was they were supposed to be a target bow brand, and now they've got into the hunting side of it, and I haven't seen anybody shoot an Elite in quite a while. I've seen several for sale, but I don't know anybody that shoots one anymore.
But no, Bear, as far as I know, is the only manufacturer that doesn't have a target bow.
Like I said, I'm gonna keep shooting the Hoyt. Shoot it for this season. You're gonna rock out with the Hoyt.
I'm gonna shoot that for a while.
We're gonna make her happen.
Just because really and truly, I was planning on getting mine bow this year, but that little mishap last year led me to buying one right 2 weeks before season last year. So
it happens.
I'll keep shooting that thing for a little bit.
We'll make sure that does not happen this go around.
Yeah, and it's a good thing I do love that, but I really do love it. But
it'd really suck. But like me and your dad said earlier, we're gonna jump over as we get towards the end here. Me and your dad were kind of talking out back earlier. He said the fawn crop this year, the amount of fawns running around is good numbers.
I haven't seen a fawn yet.
I've seen several, and we've had like I mentioned earlier, we've had so much rain. This hay cutting has been delayed. Nobody cut hay until last week, so that gave the fawns plenty of time to kind of maintain some and gain some strength, so they can kind of get out on their own. And then this wheat crop is still in the field, which is giving them plenty of cover, to stay out of harm's way for now. So
I had a picture of a doe still walking around with a big old belly right before you pulled up.
Really?
Mhm.
She's a late one then.
Well, I mean, I had a doe on there. She had to have been having twins or triplets.
I guess she's not really late. I mean, I'll rephrase my statement. I've seen a bunch of early fawns. I saw one in the road the other day that was still wet on the back. She had just been born. I don't even know how the thing was walking.
And she may not be pregnant, but she's got a big old belly if she's not.
No, she's definitely pregnant. There's no doubt.
But I mean, some angles makes it look.
That or she has a tumor. I've seen that before.
I mean, she's pretty dang wide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta be. But I'm hoping that with that being said, we'll get some more fawns around here. Like we talked about a few podcasts back, the deer population was suffering a little bit. Hopefully, we're working back into reestablishing that and getting that growing. I'm gonna try my best to keep them to stick around my places with the food, and that's another year of. I don't guess they changed the baiting law, did they? I haven't seen anything on it. I guess it's still no baiting.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
So, like I said before, just what we can plant is all they got. So that and the nuts off the tree in the late fall. But we're still looking at an Illinois trip, I believe.
Yeah.
We just talked about that earlier. We're gonna hopefully within the next week, 2 weeks, get up there and do some looking, and a little bit of scouting. I'm trying to figure out get a game plan together a little bit. So that's something different coming up for this year. I know we talked turkey season up all big, and then that was just an absolute blowout. But
that was poor.
Deer season's a little bit different for both of us. I mean, me especially the early months. I can hunt several days, and later when it goes off into the colder months and we're done with harvest, prime rut time, that's my off time basically. So, but that's kind of where we're at, where we're sitting. It was a terrible turkey season.
Waiting to kill some doves and some deers.
Yeah. Dove season's irrelevant to me anymore. I went one time last year, killed a limit, and went home. That was it.
I went 2 times last year. I guess 2. I like doing it. I mean,
I may have went twice. I don't remember.
There's not really any prep work to doing it,
Plant your sunflowers, watch them grow.
You really don't even have to do that.
No, especially if you got a pellet gun and live in the city.
If you got a dang cornfield by you.
Yeah, Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna wrap this podcast up, and hopefully, game plan all plays out. Do a little scouting in Illinois. Get some plans together for up there. We'll throw another podcast out here. Hopefully, been doing some talking with some people, working on a little sponsor deal. May have some things coming out. Maybe getting some merch. So
Maybe. Been looking at it.
we uh we ordered our first ever custom golf balls this week or
Yep.
last week. They're gonna be a giveaway gift for a golf scramble coming up here. But that's where we're at. So we'll win this one out and catch everybody on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.